Hey everybody, I am dirty. Look at my arms and face, and I am just disgusting right now. I've been cleaning off this tank, and I thought that I would let you know what I figured out on cleaning the inside of this thing out. I was doing a little research around last night, and it seems there's a couple of prevailing methods that most people use. One of them is muriatic acid, and that I felt like that was probably a little too aggressive for this. It's not, I mean, it's pretty rusty on the inside, but it's not like flaking off bad. So what I'm going to do, or what I did, is I've got 12 gallons of vinegar in there, and I'm going to let that sit in there for about a day. It's 12 gallons is down in the bottom of it on that side right now. I'll let that sit there for about a day. Then I will flip it over, let it sit on that side for a day, and then I'll just roll it slowly, let it sit in place over on its side for a day. And so over the process of a week, that vinegar will go getting to work on the inside of removing that rust in there. And then next weekend, I'm going to take a chain. I'll empty all that vinegar out, and I'll tie this chain to a piece of 550 cord, and I'll lower that down in there, and then I'm going to roll it around. Roll it and roll it and roll it and roll it all over the place. And that chain will kind of get loose, anything that vinegar kind of got out of there. And then after that, then I'm going to take, and I'll put some water in there with the chain too. And then I'm going to take my high pressure hose. This is an extension for a pressure washer, and I'm going to stick that down in there. It's got a curved tip. I'm going to stick that down in there, and I'll get it as good as I can with that. We'll see how that goes, and if it doesn't go perfectly, then I figured I'll put some 1/16 of an inch holes right here and right here, going all the way through in 4 angles, and that way it'll squirt out to the sides, and I can stick this down in there and get it, good and rinsed out real good, because the vinegar will kind of gum up the rust and stuff in there. So I was looking into, some of you guys made the suggestion to red coat it, but I don't think that is going to be a good option for something this big. And it really, 2 reasons. One, it's not cost effective. And 2, it's really made for smaller things, like motorcycle tanks and even smaller, car tanks, tractor tanks. But it's not made for these large agricultural tanks like this, and you've got too much surface area. And that, I'm a little worried about that coming apart and not sticking to the sides real well. So I'm not going to go with the red coat option, but I think this will get me, it'll get me at least to 80% solution. And then, when I combine it with the filter, I don't think we'll have any issues. I think it'll be just fine. So when I get the inside all done and ready to go and got it nice and spotless, then I'll go ahead and I'll spray it with the primer and all that stuff. Where's the red coats? Let me at them. That's funny. So yeah, if you didn't know, red coat is I didn't know either. I had to look it up. I wasn't familiar with it. But basically, it is designed for like motorcycle tanks when they get rusty and stuff like that. You can pour this stuff in there and shake the tank all around until it coats all over the inside, and it creates like a liner for the tank. And people have had varying results on it. I've seen some where guys take it apart, they'll cut it open after they've had it in there a while, and it's just coming apart all over the place, and it's not doing really good. And then other guys have, done it with like gas cans, metal gas cans and stuff, and it's worked really good for them. So I think it just depends. Yeah, Lady T Survival. I mean, you're right, that would be the worst case scenario. I could cut the top of it off and sandblast it and then re-weld it. But I don't think I'm going to go into that much of a hassle for it. If I can't get it good enough like this, then I'll probably abandon the project because it's already been a ridiculous amount of work just getting it all cleaned off. There were four layers of enamel paint on this thing. One coat of white, one coat of tan, one coat of silver, and one coat of red. So yeah, it's kind of a saga. But I think it's going to work out good in the end. We just got to what's going on with the ducks? What are they doing over there? What's going on? Hey, you girls be nice. I just don't want them chasing the little baby. Oh, it didn't look like she was. She was chasing somebody else. So, anyway, yeah, it's already taken quite a bit of elbow grease. That's for sure. I don't know what they were doing. Anyway. So that's what I came up with for dealing with this tank. I think it's probably going to work. From what I understand, if you use the vinegar, the 5% acidity, and then let it sit for like a day or so, it does a pretty good job of getting the rust out of there. So we'll just have to see. I don't know. What was it originally? Lady T Survival says it was an agricultural tank, but it hadn't been used in probably 30 years or something along those lines. So yeah. So I was just checking the comments there. So that's where I'm at. That's what I did this afternoon. Had the day off, luckily, from work. So that was nice. So it's pretty good to go. It's not perfect, but I mean, it's just going to be, a tank sitting outside. So I think that it'll probably paint up just fine and be good. You can tell that this was a handmade tank, though. It wasn't like some professional deal. When you look at the welds and stuff like that, either that or if it was somebody new was working on it. I'm guessing that it was probably just an old farmer that built this back years ago. I don't know for sure, but that's my guess. So anyway, we're going to try to give it some new life. It was almost too late. Let me see if I can find the spot to show you. There's where it was rusting on the bottom where it was sitting. And I think we saved it in time. I think it's still thick enough, but it had some pretty deep pitting right here. Now I could, it seems solid now. But if I needed to, I could fill it in. The tank's purpose is it's going to be to hold gasoline. That's what I'm going to put in it. I've done fine with redoing these in the past and just putting a magnet down towards the bottom where it drains and then using a filter, and I've never had any issues. I've used the gas in my vehicles and all that kind of stuff with an old rusty tank, and I never had any problem. But this one was pretty rusty, so I thought I'd do a little bit more and try to clean it out. Some of the guys were suggesting the other day when I talked about it to do the red coat, and I hadn't heard what that was. I wasn't familiar with it, and during the process of going through all that, learning what it was and everything, I saw some other videos on how guys are cleaning these things up, and so that's kind of where I'm going with it. So I guess that'll be that. These are all in the wrong end and all that kind of stuff right now. I'm just using this as a vent, so that the vinegar can vent out or whatever, just the fumes and stuff like that, and it doesn't build up any pressure or anything. But anyhow, all right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions about this, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Just figured it would be easiest to Lady T said, what's going to go on it when it's done? What's going to go on it is just paint. I showed this in the other video. I'm just going to do a gray metal primer, first coat, Rust-Oleum, and then for the tank, it'll be gloss white, and then flat black for the thing. Let's see, what you say here? Particles after you clean it up best you can. You can always put a filter on it. Yeah, there will be a filter on it for sure, 100%. Yeah. And so anyhow, okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for popping in, and don't forget to live 6 P's. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. See ya.